All right, folks, thank you for joining this evening's mentor class. Your instructor tonight will be none other than the Hornet. He has prepared a few slides. If you have not made your way to the mentor class page, please do so now. That's where the slides are. It is currently the pinned post. But with that, I'm going to give it off to you, the Hornet.
Hey, man, thanks a lot, guys. I know it's been a while since I've done this. I appreciate the following, man. I can't ask for any more than that, man. You guys are awesome. The class tonight is going to be on raid format fleets, man, and what's going on. So I'm going to talk about siege class hulls pretty much. On the page right there, if you'll click on that first picture right there, it should be the Centurion. So once everybody gets there, just say aye real quick.
Hey.
Aye.
All right.
Right on. So this is a Centurion. This is my Centurion right here. This is an R3. I'm not at R5 yet. The one thing I wanted to talk about was right here at the top. It's the stats. This is a siege hull. All the hulls now, you guys should know this by now, that they're all a class. The Centurion, anything for this raid format is going to be siege class. The next thing that I look at on any of the boats as you're building them is this attack right here. On the attack right here, says ballistic reload, ballistic range, ballistic defense. The siege DPS, that comes from the R3, but this tells me that this is a ballistic boat. Not saying you got to put ballistics on it, but for raid format, it's ballistics. I hate reading this stuff and going over this, but this is what people seem to miss the most about these. So the Centurion is a ballistic hull. It's got the ballistic stats. Not much to really talk about on down through there. On the next slide, well, I do want to talk about the siege deflection, 475 out of the box on this. In the next slide, I just pulled that little lever down on the side there a little bit so you can see some more stuff, the special attributes. There's a field resistance on it. Basically, there's a resistance that's going to keep anything from happening to it, like a frost zone or anything like that. It's got a Renaissance trigger is a no. Its range of that circle is 20. So any boat within that 20 says affects all ships in any state. Anything that's in that 20 is going to get the field resistance. That's how I understand that. And the splash damage reduction of 20%. The Centurions, I can tell you at the end of this, when I show you my actual build for this, I was able to, and I'm not kidding you guys, I got 3 of these, and I was running them just by themselves. I was running C sets all during VR's deal on Friday night, last during the raid, and all night Saturday night listening to NPL radio, and never repaired these in C sets. I ran C sets just autoing them. Never even looked at it. I just clicked the target and wait till it finished. Clicked another target and went on and on and on for 5-6 hours every time. So I'll show you that build tonight. The next slide, ironclads. Guys, if you didn't get this hull, you want to try to get it if they offer it again. I'm hoping that they do. This is a good hull. Again, it's a siege class right here at the top. Armor points right there out of the box, 1200. What's it say on the attack, guys? Ballistic range, ballistic damage, splash, building damage, wall damage. This all tells me that it's ballistic. The next thing, I look at these defenses right here. You guys can see it's stun resistance of 100%. Guys, that's the key with the ironclad in this raid. You guys can contest to this who use this. I didn't have it during the raid, but I watched it work, man. These guys were awesome with it. So the combat speed was 18. I'll go over builds at the end again when we get done with these slides. The next slide is still the ironclad. Talks about the map speed right there. 85 is pretty good. The bloodthirst is what I wanted to talk about, man. When this ironclad gets bloodthirst, guys, what does it say right here? At max stacks, you got to kill 5 things. Once you kill 5 things, the thing gets full bloodthirst. At bloodthirst, you get ballistic defense of 80%, radioactive defense of 80%, ballistic reload of 50%, and splash damage reduction of 60%. At bloodthirst, 5 targets get you that. That's the key on this thing. Next slide's the Cannoneer, guys. This is the premier raid boat to use, they say. This is what everybody pushed for to get the 100 million points to get it right out of the gate. Kick size little fudge right here, I call it. But this is, again, a class siege. 15,000 armor points out of the box. Ballistic, ballistic, ballistic. Everything has to do with ballistic. This is a ballistic hull. Put ballistics on it if you want to get them attributes. What's nice about this is the siege deflection, 800. The combat speed is screaming fast, guys, 25. And this builds as the more Cannoneers you put together. It goes faster and faster. Next slide. Still the Cannoneer. I just pulled that down a little bit. It's cold snap immune. No. But we're not dealing with any cold snaps, so we don't have to worry about that so far in the raid. No Renaissance trigger. The range is 30 on the special attributes, which I'm not seeing any special attributes other than the ship itself. So if you keep the ships within a range of 30 of each other, you'll get a bonus combat speed of 15, ballistic reload of 25, and turn speed of 20 if you can keep your ships all stacked. Is that right, guys? Is that how I read that?
Yes.
Yes.
Comrade.
All right, so the next set of slides here, I didn't put them all on here, but I put the key ones that we might be interested in when we build a fleet. The first one's this Alloy Armor CL3. As you guys know, we're just talking about siege hulls, so this is gonna work. There's no 100% bypass defense or whatever they're talking about on this. When you put this on a siege class hull, you're going to get 55.7%. Well, I'm at rank 15, so 55.7% ballistic defense and 56% radioactive defense just by putting this special on there. The next slide. This is a researchable item. Everybody ought to have this, no matter what level you are. I think that this is something that you'll want to research. This is Research Layered Armor 3. This resists a percentage of ballistic damage from weapons like cannons right out of the gate. This is at rank R15 again, guys, but it gives you a 81.7% ballistic defense. And it gives you, it's a plus 14 on the armor weight. It's a little heavy, but still, it is a good special to have on specific damages. The next one for the lower levels, I put this on there, Hardened Barrels 3. It's also a researchable item. This is what's going to give you your ballistic range, 50%. It's also a heavy special, 60% of your weapon weight. So the more weapons you put on it, the more this special weighs, is what that means. Not the best special to put on it, but for the lower levels that don't have, well, I didn't put it on there, the nuke accelerator, and I'll talk about it in a minute. The next slide is the Autoloader 3. For people like me who don't get the fleets built, can't coin them fast enough to get them ranked. I usually get one out by the time, but the second one and the third one, I go ahead and put an autoloader on there or something that speeds up my reload, because my fleets are not ranked, and that's where my problem lies for the non-coiner. But Autoloader 3, it's researchable. Everybody ought to have this. Gives you a ballistic reload of 136.2% at rank 15. Again, I'm at R15 on this. Next slide, something that I don't have. You can see it right there. It's a in red, Cannon System 4. This is an awesome little deal, but with the latest builds that I've seen going on, everybody has pulled the Cannon System 4 off and went with the nuke accelerator. So, and we'll talk about that here in a little bit, but that Cannon System 4 gives a ballistic damage of plus 25, a ballistic range of 50%. So that's just like Hardened Barrels 3, just like nuke accelerator. but this one adds splash at plus 35%.
Okay, with the retrofit lab, they have a gun like this and it only goes up to 3. If you retrofit that, will that upgrade that too?
No.
No, it won't. And I could tell you right now that I wouldn't use, if you have Nuke Accelerator and you have Speed System 5, that Cannon System 3 is not worth putting on.
Now, if I may add here, guys, the difference between those two things is the utilization of your weapons, because like something like the Mauser or the Mauer cannon, it has splash to it. The Ironclad has a splash built into the hull also. It really depends on what weapons you're putting on there in order to what special that you want to run on there.
Right. If you're running the Mauser weapons, guys, you probably want this Cannon System 4 on there just for the splash attributes.
Okay, don't the Ironclad also have like a splash like buffer to like deflect it too?
Only at Bloodthirst, 60%, I think it was.
I was about to say and that is the key to the Ironclad is getting its bloodthirst before you try and attack the platforms.
So that's Cannon System 4. Any more things on Cannon System 4 anybody want to talk about?
Just want to add one thing about retro. Retro what you're building and do it in 5s. The first 5 statistically are the biggest increase. So if you got 3 items on there that can be retro, do them all up to 5 before you move on. Don't just jam them up to 15.
Okay, my question is, okay, since I don't have the Mauser or the Millennial cannon, what would be the next best thing to put on the Ironclad?
We'll talk about
We're
that
gonna
right
get
at
to
the
that.
end. Was this TDY?
No, this is twin brother Stacy, Stingray.
Hey, Stacy, we'll talk about that at the end. That's what all the dialogue's going to be about is what do I do if I don't have this? And I'm going to point out specific builds that work and work good. So we'll move on from the Cannon System 4 picture. The next slide. Nuclear Accelerator. Man, I'm telling you, this is a great special. Since the day it came out, it's awesome. The one thing it is it's heavy, but it gives you a ballistic accuracy of 40%, which most ballistics, if you look at them across the board, are low accuracy. So you want to improve your accuracy, and this also gives you the range. And this right here will give you a combat speed bonus. Again, mine's at R15. Not everybody's is R15, but if you want the fastest you can make it, this is the good special to put on there. I put this special on other boats too as well, just to make it faster. This or the interception system, but we're just talking about the raid format. So bonus combat speed at 24.8. Next slide, Siege Targeting 3. Another one. I built my Centurions with this to start out with. I didn't refit them, but I just wanted to put it out there that this is going to give you. This is something, Stacy, that you'll want to put on your boat if you're not running them top tier specials or top tier weapons. You're going to want to try to get as much damage as you can on these. So Siege Targeting 3. Again, it's 17% of your weapon weight. Mine is only at R5, as you can see. But this damage will go up as that rank goes up. But mine right now is at plus 84% and 84% on wall damage.
I believe at R15 it goes up to 94.
Is that what it is, Kill? Thanks.
I do believe so.
So again, man, an awesome special, man. That thing is, if you're going to hit bases and you can fit it on there and you don't have anything else to put on there, this is what you want. I mean, well, we're trying to get through the ships too, but with these R8 turrets that are out now, it's kind of hard to kill them in one go. The next special, man, this is what everybody's been wanting, everybody needed. The people who refit their ships, that got the points, that refit their ships for the raid, this was the premier special to go on them. High velocity rounds. It's a tier 5 Deal there, weapon weight was 14%. It gives you a ballistic damage of 55%, projectile speed of 100%, building damage 80%, wall damage 80%. So this is basically that siege targeting 3 with basically your projectile speed.
Hey, Hornet.
Yeah.
That building damage is 93% R15 on that siege targeting 3. Wall damage is 92%.
Yeah, right on. Something I need to still retrofit. I've kind of slacked on that part of it. I mean, I'm still retrofitting everything, but I'm trying to get my armors up right now. The next blueprint, or the next slide, was Siege Battery 3. Listen, guys, we're hitting siege targets. That means we're hitting buildings. This thing right here, this one special, gives you 50% turret defense. Anything that's shooting at you is 50% gonna miss you. That's what this means. And it gives you building damage of 74% and wall damage of 74%. This also stacks with that high velocity rounds or that siege targeting. These things stack. So when you look at the stats on your boat, when you put them two on there, it's huge. Next slide, reflective coating 3. I didn't see anybody that put any of these on there. I just wanted to put it on there because we're dealing with radioactive stuff. Just wanted to point out what its attributes were. Again, mine's at rank 9, 14% total weight. So the total weight of your boat, weapons, specials, guns, 14% is what this thing weighs. The evade bonus, it gives you evade of, mine's at rank 9 again, but evade bonus mine is 39% and 28% radioactive defense.
Okay, not to interrupt, but a quick note. I have a ship that will be coming out with this ironclad, so I'll be able to give feedback on it.
Right on. Next slide is the armors, guys. This is what I'm retrofitting now. This is Xeniolite Armor D5C. This is a ballistic cannon armor. At the time I took this picture, this was R4. I've got this to R6 now. I'm trying to get this to at least 10 before I jump to my next, before I go to another retro. I know whoever that was said to take it to 5. I'm a believer in 10. I believe after 10, the percentages drop to not quite a percent each time, and the uranium for it is expensive. So
The reason I say that is if you have 3 specials, the difference between 5 and 10 is, I haven't looked at it in a while, it's not as big as the increase from 1 to 5. So if you have 1 armor and 1 special, it's better than having just the armor minimally higher when you can have the special also, if that makes sense.
yeah, absolutely. They all take 24 hours to do. Excuse me.
Oh hell, seeing that, never mind.
Top 5 are the best. So, but what this D5C does is it has assault deflection and siege deflection of 20. That's what it gives your boat right out of the gate. And then it has a ballistic defense of, well, this one's 16.5 at rank 4. So this goes up as the retro goes up at R15. I don't know what this is, but I'm sure some guys.
It's 18.
So
18.6.
So you can see right there. Well, that's kind of crazy that it only goes up to 18. That one's 16.5 at rank 4.
I thought it was in the 20s for sure.
23.8.
Yes, 12.3
3.8.
going to level 5.
23.8 R15.
Oh, it's 12.3 to 5? So you only
Yes,
get
yes.
12? So you get 12, only 12 more points going to 10 more spots.
Really? Mike says 18.6.
Yeah.
I'm at 15.
So
I'm
we
just
have
looking at
some
what I'm
to
doing
take a
right now.
kickside
Mine's
out.
going to 5. It's 12.3.
What slide are we on, comrades? Are we on reflective coating?
D5C.
Nope. We're just going to Xeniolite Armor D5R as the next slide. getting ready to talk
No,
about it
Conrad.
right now.
Okay, rank 12. You have rank 12. That is very good.
Yes.
I'm level 15.
Hey guys,
Alright.
let's keep the focus. Let Hornet continue.
Go,
See-
Hornet, go.
Yeah, Xenia Light Armor D5R. This is radioactive armor. This is the top radioactive armor. There's, like I didn't say it before, but there's a 2 through 5 on all these armors. This one here is a tier 4.5. Armor points, it gives you 2,250. The weight is 489 tons, which is pretty heavy. Mine's at rank 12. Radioactive defense, 17% at rank 12.
It stays the same at R15.
Yeah, it matches the ballistic 23.8 max.
So these are the premier armors that you're going to want to use, because that's what we're fighting, guys. We're fighting ballistic and we're fighting radiation. So if you're trying to put on there something for missiles, no go. That's not going to work. If you're trying to put on there something for mortars or explosive, not going to work for this raid. You need ballistic and radioactive.
So how about this next one? Radioactive plate 4. What if you only have 3? And does it work just as good as
We're
4?
gonna go
or
over.
does
We're
it-
gonna go over all that after in the Q&A session.
Yes.
All right, go ahead.
Radioactive plate 4. What I did was on these armors is I just put the biggest one that's available on there. I didn't want to try to go through 2, 3, 4, and 5. I just tried to put the biggest one on there to see what the max stats that we can build. This is a pretty nice armor. I'm not, and we'll talk about this in the dialogue. I'm not for sure that we need this. I have not seen an explosive take place or an implosion take place, but if you have a radioactive plate, it's probably not going to take place. But that's what this does.
It
was
definitely
that?
does. It does.
There's a launcher turret in there, that random launcher turret that creates a shock, and that's why I particularly added it. I have been told by some of the guys on the Alliance, or not the Alliance crib, but the BP page, whatever the hell that one is. Yeah, the Forsaken Council. One of the guys from there told me that it was worthless, that it didn't work in PvE targets, but it certainly seemed to reduce the shockwave and the damage that I took from it off of that launcher turret.
So you
'Cause I
guys
did
were
have-
actually getting a shockwave on your boats in there.
Absolutely, that launcher turret, every other shot would create a shockwave boom, boom, boom,
So,
boom.
so
But
yes, and I see these on your guys' builds. So, and that's why there's specials on here. But what this does is this gives you armor points. It gives you 2,775 armor points. The weight, 555 tons. It's a little heavy, but the radioactive deflection of 5,000, man, that's huge. So every 5,000, so if it hits you with 10,000 radioactive,
Damage.
5,000 of it's deflected. And then I'm going to get into a few weapons here. Again, I just made them relevant for the 3 boats that we talked about at the beginning. Crossbow 3. Wanted to talk about this. I hear a lot of talk about it. I know a lot of people don't have the premier weapons. This may be something, Stacy, that you're wanting to put on your boat that you don't have. I'll talk about this. Mine's at R15. The accuracy on this is 70%. Of course, any specials that you put on there is going to boost that. The range is short, 30 to 49. 50 is the max range for the weapons now for ballistics. The damage on this is pretty good, 2129. The building damage, awesome, 4,259. Wall damage, probably the best weapon out there for wall damage, 17,038. This is what sucks about it, the reload time of 11. Penetrating damage, 425. And then there's the building damage, 100% building damage and 700% wall damage. Pretty good weapon.
I have a question. On this crossbow, there was a thought it used to have to be stop the fire, but now it doesn't have to be stop the fire. Is that correct?
That's
Yes.
correct. This thing will fire at will.
they have changed
Word.
the stat on that, absolutely.
This gun is really good. It was always good because, except for the fact that they made you stop. Other than that, this is a very good gun. we got sucked into the Millennial gun, but this crossbow 3 is actually better than the Millennial gun. Do I get an agreement on that?
Well, it's the reload time that kills you on this, bud.
And you
I
talked
would
about
say, I
auto
would
loader.
say, I would say no. If you have the Millennium, absolutely go with the Millennium. The Millennium will allow you the 800% or 700%, whatever the hell it is, building and wall damage overall.
So it's better than the crossbow 3.
Absolutely. And if I'm not mistaken, I'm wanting to say that the weight was lighter also.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
So next slide, Earthshaker cannons. This has been offered, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 times. I think it's a great little cannon. And I'll go over some attributes about it. Again, it's just a tier 3 weapon. Armor points, for every one of these you put on, you get 500 armor points. It's a cannon, ballistic type. The weight is real low. Of course, mine's at R15. This is also a splash weapon. It gives you 6 splash. The accuracy is 40. This is what I was talking about with that accuracy, guys. Most of these ballistic weapons have low accuracy, so you're going to want something to boost that accuracy on these. The range on these are a little short too, 47. But the damage on these things are pretty good. 1,015 for damage. That's against ships. Building damage is 3,046. Wall damage 346. And then the next slide, I just pulled that little toggle down on the side. It does a salvo of 3, and the reload on this is 4 seconds. So this thing's pretty ripping out when you get them ranked up. This thing never stops firing. It gives you 507 radioactive damage, 200% building damage, and 200% wall damage. Also gives you a bonus combat speed of 5. So every one of these you put on there, it's like putting a speed upgrade on your boat. And the repair on this is pretty light too, 6 minutes 40 seconds, so that's pretty good. Next slide, particle accelerator cannon. I love this thing just because it's mainly the only gun I got. But anyway, particle accelerator cannon. This came out with the Centurions back in the day. It's a tier 4 weapon. Armor points. It gives you 200 armor points for every one you put on your boat. It's a cannon type. It's a ballistic weapon. Weight's 285. It's a splash weapon also. 6. Accuracy 80. Range of 50. So this has got the top range of the ballistic weapons. The damage is 200. This is what sucks, guys. The building damage 1350 and wall damage 1350. The reload time's pretty good, 3 seconds. And then the next slide. Building damage, let's see here. Secondary weapon, the particle cannon blast. I might have to go down here to the next one if I didn't get it all in there, but the trigger chance is 0.3%. Guys, I'm telling you, man, if you can wait it out about 1 minute 46 seconds, this thing will do the blast every minute 46 seconds. So if you're in them targets, I tried them in an A set with my Centurions, thinking, boy, I built the Centurions the way I wanted to. I couldn't do the A set because I didn't have enough firepower. It still wasn't enough. But I didn't have the Harlock and I didn't have the others. I'm not even going to try to promote the Centurions for the A sets. It's not even worth it. They might possibly be able to do a B set with some good driving, but we'll talk about that in the dialogue. And here's the next slide, the last slide of the particle accelerator cannon. This is what's got the secondary weapon particle blast, 0.3%. The splash is 40%. The spread is 200%. Range is 50. Damage is 2,000. So it doesn't matter if it's hitting a boat or basically a boat, it's going to be 2,000 damage. If it hits a building, it's 113,460 damage and 113,460 wall damage. So it says cannot be used with and for remote targeting. So I don't know why it wouldn't, because the 50 will remote target anything off of the 50 original. So this is still 50, but building damage is 557.3%, and same with the wall damage. I could tell you now, I built an ironclad, guys. I didn't post my build because it's not worthy really, but I can tell you that I ran it the other day, brand new, out of the shipyard. I popped it out, stuck it in a 97. Was unbelievable what a particle cannon ironclad did. And I ran it through 7 97s and 2 70s for 2 hours and 35-minute damage. So I was pretty excited about that.
In the hospital, but they did.
Was there anything else on it?
What was that?
Was it just the particle cannons, or was there something else on it?
Just particle cannons, man. That's the only weapons I put on it.
Now, guys, just a tip about this particle cannon for a lot of you that don't know. This the secondary weapon on that thing, which is the mass, the blue aura that flies out of it, which is when the secondary weapon fires. That thing will actually recharge and fire off every 2 minutes instead of just going through a target and randomly hitting shit. If you go through it and if you come up to a platform that you know you're going to take some damage and things like that, and that's what you're running, if you wait that 2 minutes, those particle cannons with a secondary weapon will fire off every time if you wait 2 minutes and let it charge up. So if you're facing a building or something that you're having an issue with, let it charge up for 2 minutes before you attack it and try and approach it, and it will guarantee fire off every one of those particle cannons secondary weapon at will every 2 minutes.
So I can tell you my Centurions, I think I get 10 on there a piece. I got 30 particle cannons. I let them charge for 2 minutes, and 30 particle cannons doing the secondary particle blast. I don't even want to try to fathom. I'll get a calculator out to figure what kind of damage that does. But I can tell you it'll pretty much eliminate a 102 island when it hits.
4.5 million.
I spread them out just a little bit and bring them in. I got them on my puns, and they'll bust that whole island right there. And then I pull it off for 2 minutes, go to the next one, and bust it out. So that's particle cannon.
You used the mega hull on that too with your fleet?
I run an Omega at the top of it.
Yeah, okay.
Next hull or next weapon, the hammer cannon. Don't know much about it. I don't have it yet. At one time, this was like something that was going to be pretty cool, but everybody's kind of turned their nose up at it. We'll carry on
It's
some
heavy
dialogue
and it
about
doesn't do enough
but,
damage.
What was that, Kill?
Jump.
It's heavy and it doesn't do enough damage.
So when we can look at that right here, it's 400 tons. It's heavy, just like he said. Accuracy 70%, which is pretty good for that. The range is still top range. The damage is 2,440. There's no extra attributes of wall or building damage on this. This is just straight punch at 2,440. Salvos 2 every 5 seconds. It has concussive damage, kind of a little bonus on it, but 1220. But I don't think anybody's running this hammer cannon that I know of.
I did, and I refit.
This is basically a PvP weapon.
Correct, because it's got nothing for wall or building.
I was thinking that they're going to initially bring in some sort of fleets into these targets at some point, whether it be this next one or whether it be the third series of it. And I'm honestly figuring that that's where some of those cannons may come into play.
Yep, that's all theory, man. We're hoping that it stays the same for 3. If not, I'd say more players are probably going to go. Next cannon, as you guys can see, the next slide, Mauser cannon. I don't own this. It's still in red, but there's what it is. It's damage types ballistic. The weight's 375. It has a splash attribute, like Kill was saying earlier, of 7. The accuracy's 80. See how the accuracy's kind of getting better with these premier weapons that they're coming out with. The range is 50. That's top range of any ballistic weapon again. Damage 696, kind of low, but the building damage and the wall damage is what is key with this. 6,264 building, 2,000 or 6,264 wall damage. Reload times a 7. It's got an 800% building damage modifier to it and a 800% wall damage modifier to it. So that's pretty good cannon, guys. It's still not the best, but it is second in line, I believe. Next slide, the Premier Cannon, the Millennium gun. It's kind of weird that it's the Premier gun. It's only got one little slide. There wasn't enough to drag down the other side, but we'll talk about it. This is a Tier 5 cannon, ballistic again, weights 355 tons, accuracy 80%. Another thing, man, that's good, 80%. Range 50, top range. Damage 588. Not the best damage, but when you look at the reload time of 2.5 seconds,
Yeah.
it's pretty much kicking it on pretty quick.
So I have a question on that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, sir. We talked about the Millennium gun right now and the Earthshaker cannon. Now I seen people put 3 Earthshakers and a bunch of Millenniums. But then I watched them in the stuff firing, and it's kind of like, why bother with the Earthshaker if you
Speed
have
and armor.
Millennium?
Speed and armor.
Speed and combat speed boost and weight issues. It jacks everything up as far as your combat damage, as far as wall and building. It's well worthy attributed weapon in order to add to it.
Sometimes
So what
two
I'm
mile-
saying, if I've got this ballistic hull that y'all helped me get, I need to put the Millennium gun on there, but I do need to put the Earthshaker on there for those extra attributes. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes.
So like
What happens
okay.
on that KGB is you run out of weight. If you put all Millennium guns on there, you can't put the top armors on there. So basically, you're going to take a few of them big Millennium guns off. You're going to give yourself some combat speed plus the armor points. And if you run into that 47 range, see, this is 15. I think the other one's is 47 or something like that. If you run into that range, that thing's going to be kicking off too. So it all, and rank depends on everything, man. Rank your boats.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you.
So, and this has got a 650% wall and building damage. So that's the Premier cannon.
And in some targets, 2 miles an hour makes a huge difference.
So what I did here on the next slides, guys, is this is my Centurion build right here. What I did was I did my Centurion build. I did Kills Ironclad build without his Harlock. And then I did Lube's Cannoneer build on this. And then I also, at the bottom of these slides, I put their Huggies link there so you can look at the Huggies and get all the attributes. But I just wanted to point out that this Centurion right here, 3 of these by themselves, auto and C sets all night long, guys. I never repaired this. I'm telling you, man, 5-6 hours Saturday night. I did nothing but point and click. Never even looked at it. And I put it on repair at the end of the night when I called it a night. They never died. So I don't know how you guys were doing your C sets or what you were doing them with, but this thing took no damage whatsoever. I guess I can point out some things on it. The damage on this thing was 3,100 or 31,000 damage. My ballistic reload with this build right here is 40%. Of course, this isn't ranked all the way up either. I don't know if that changes as this gets ranked. I think this is still at like 60%, something like that. But my ballistic range is plus 90 because I have the nuke accelerator on there. The ballistic damage is plus 55. I'm assuming that the ballistic damage is coming from that nuke accelerator, the damage, and the siege battery. The building damage and the wall damage, 74% because it's R15. I'm getting right there. Siege DPS, guys, this is the key to this Centurion. If you've got them at R5, I think this gets up like 1,200, the siege DPS. So I've seen my Centurions just go from R1 to R3 before the raid. I tried to hit them 70s and 80s. We'll get you the rank for these.
I'm at R5 and I'm 2,800.
Yeah, see, that's awesome, man. So I see these things, the more I use them in them 70s and 80s, the better they are, the more rank they get. So rank them things up, man, if you're going to use them. Also, these things are awesome for base parts, man. I can pretty much put these 3 into a 97 and not even look at it again. I mean, and let it auto it, basically. I basically go into a 97. I start at 12 o'clock position. I move my Omega Behemoth, just pull it north, and then I let the other ones, just hit the S key and let them go. I come back out and look for the next 97 while it's working, and then just start clicking. When it comes out of that 97, I go to another one. I could probably do 5 97s with 3 of these with an Omega Behemoth. The next slide, I just pulled that little toggle down on the side. Again, not much more than what it was with the blank hole. I just wanted to show you the attributes of what the speed difference is from the blank hole to what it is now, which is just the Nuke Accelerator and Speed System 5. Got me 44 mile an hour.
I'd
next
like to
build, this
know
is Kill's
more about
build.
the Cannoneer.
What was that, bud?
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. What boat are we on? The Cannoneer?
I just got through with the Centurions. I just put it on the Ironclad. Just getting ready to talk about it.
Yes, sir. I'll wait. Thank you.
Quick question, Hornet. Those 2 armors on the left side of there, is that the D5Rs?
Yeah, D5, 2 D5Rs and 2 D
D5Cs.
D5Cs. So
Okay, I only have 4. I'm refitting mine now.
and that would work. I mean, you could put 4s probably all the way around on this and get that extra armor spot in there. It just wouldn't fit, as you can see. But I'm still at dock 12 and shipyard 3. So that weight is going to go up. Well, no, it's only got a max weight of that, so that's not going to change. But my most that I could put in my dock, I can get another boat in there, which I'm hoping I can get the Harlock soon to get that in there.
I just I'm kind of refit mine. My siege DPS is 2800, and I put 2 D5Cs and 2 D4Rs on here.
Yeah, right on.
Okay.
The Ironclad build, I did it in this, and it's also in the Huggies build underneath here. But this is Kill's Ironclad build without the Harlock. Once he built the Harlock, I think he changed it up to 6 Millenniums and 2 Earthshakers, and left 2 slots open. Right, Kill?
That is correct.
You don't have any
values on your Ironclad.
Yeah, this is what you posted, Mojo, for Kill.
Yeah, but he's updated it since, correct?
No, this is my current Ironclad build, what you're looking at right now. I have not refit my original Ironclad. I went ahead and started building the Harlock, and I will go back and refit that probably as far as this one so that my speeds match up and whatnot. But as of right now, I will be going back to, I will go 2 Earthshakers and 6 Millenniums, and then the rest of the build stays absolutely the same.
Okay. Afterwards, let me know and I'll change it on the page for you.
Yes, sir. But no, I have not refit as of yet.
So what you're saying is the Millennials, if you're ranked and you're firing the Millennials really good, Kill, then really you don't need the Earthshakers. You put 2 on there for speed, but the Millennials,
hey guys,
you have to look. The reason I went and changed that a little bit is because with the Harlock Ironclad, it gives the attribute of cold snap immune to the entire fleet amongst itself, and the attribute of I'm wanting to say it was 45 additional combat speed, 45% combat speed, something like that. I know it's up there, and turn speed, and that will automatically give me the combat speed and stuff that I need. So therefore, I could reduce some of the Earthshakers that are on it and put more damage output with another Millennium versus the Earthshaker.
Okay.
Let's save all the build questions for after the Q&A. We've already
Sorry,
racked up 45 minutes here.
Sorry,
Lou.
Hey, so I just wanted to point out a few things about this, man. As you can see this build right here, the stats that are over here, man, I wanted you to look at the splash. Plus 200% the splash. Building damage 684.3 and 684.3 for the wall. So the evade on this is pretty low, but it's a tank, man. Let's see here. The ballistic defense, 96%, man. That's awesome. Radioactive defense, 90%. Awesome. Concussive, 15%. That's because of the hydraulic resistor on there. That's where he gets that. The radioactive deflection is 5,000. That's because of that shockwave plate. Turret defense, 50% because of the Siege Battery 3. Assault deflection 20 and siege deflection of 420. I'm assuming that the assault deflection came from the D5Rs. Is that a D5C2 there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm surprised that didn't give you more, but anyway. So we'll move on to the next slide. Still the Ironclad. So Ironclad, basically the same stats right here. The combat speed is 42 is the way that's set up right there. Turn speed of 37. Repair time, man, this is what's going to kill you. 5 hours, 12 minutes. Again, the bloodthirst right there, that doesn't change.
Hello?
Hello?
Hello, comrade. Welcome to Mentor Class. We are listening to Hornet give us speeches about good boats. Listen up. Good to have you, comrade.
So Ironclad Bloodthirst again, man. 5 kills gives you the Bloodthirst stack. Again, 80% defense, radioactive, 80% radioactive and ballistic. Ballistic reload, 50%. Splash damage reduction, 60%. Anything that hits you is reflected 60% on that. I'm getting choked up. Cannoneer, man. This is the premier hull. This is what Kixeye said was what you wanted, what you needed to auto these things. I don't know if you want to auto them or not, but here it is. This is Lube's build. I did it in the design mode. What he's got there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Millenniums, 2 Earthshakers, D5C, radioactive deflection 4, radioactive armor 5, and that is a CL3 that he's got on there. I'll just go down through here. Armor points 23,275. There's the damage 1259. Ballistic range top plus 50. Hello? All right, going on. What I wanted to talk about here was the building damage and the wall damage, 370.6. And this is happening, guys, pretty fast. And you can see down here when we get down here to the reload, well, it should be right there. Reload 50%. That's it. Huh. It's unreactive. Turret defense 50% because of the siege battery. Assault 20 deflection and siege deflection of 820. So that's the best so far, unless you're getting the Ironclad up into the Bloodlust.
So on the slide, Hornet, I don't mean to interrupt, but I'm looking at the slide. There's 7 of the Millennial gun, 2 Earthshakers, 1 of each of the armors, but there's 1 open empty slot. Is that that's like there's nothing that can sit there?
Yep, you can look up there at the Cannoneer build on the weight. Of course, This is again, Doc 13 is mine, but this is the most it can hold is 8,000 tons. The weight on this, I don't think you could fit another Earthshaker on there and make weight.
No, because of the specials. The specials limit you because it jacks the weight up over that 8,000. Takes you over by like 160 tons or something like that.
So
Let's
put a
let's
small
discuss builds after the class, please.
Sorry, no Luke.
You can get one though.
That's a good build. Thank you for showing me that slide, sir.
So that's the Cannoneer.
That's it.
Yep, with that last slide, I think it was just a second one I put in there for some reason. I didn't know I had it. Sorry.
No, that's good. Thank you, Hornet. This is fucking awesome,
that's
brother.
all my slides, guys. If you want to see them in Huggies, except for the Centurion, they're down below underneath the pin post. I'll leave that pin for a couple days so people can watch the video and then go to that and question anything. So we'll go ahead and end the class now, and then we'll carry on dialogue about what we can do for you, I guess.
Well, I
Yep.
thank you for what you've done, sir.
Do appreciate everybody coming here. It's very important that you come here, especially for all of you players that need help in the raid. If you were screaming, I need this, can you prep that? This is almost mandatory for you to be in this class and or watch the video the next day and or watch the video again. So this is very important. This is going to be a class that's going to come back around on its normal schedule now. We kind of were on a little hiatus. We had a little change of the guard, the holidays, and we've had a lot going on. But this is fixing to become regular again. Thursday night may or may not be its final destination, but for right now, it will be Thursday nights. But I do appreciate you guys taking the time to come to this. This is not the funnest thing. It's not the game. So appreciate you taking a little time out of your day to come in here and try to learn something and get better, because that's what these classes are all about, is getting you to a position where you're self-efficient and to a point where you're helping people in the raid. You're the one asking, can I prep a set for you? Or if someone's piping up, you can do that for them. So that's the whole direction of where this thing is going. So thank you for being here, and we'll go on from there.